What's up, y'all? Fabian Speaks. We are back live, man. Immediately back live. Like I just said to y'all, I was streaming horizontally just now. I ended that stream to jump on streaming vertically. As you can tell, when you stream vertically, it's just different, man. The numbers are different. I think that you get a whole lot more engagement. So be sure to funnel into the stream, like the stream, comment down below. Let me know y'all's thoughts on some of the content I've been dropping. I was actually gonna do a reaction video this morning, but I ended up not doing it. I had to let my computer charge. My computer was dead low key, so had to let it charge. Probably get back onto that later today. I think I'm in just in a awkward space. Like I wouldn't call it a what's it, like writer's block, you know, to where sometimes a creator can't really create authentically. I'm kind of in this funny space of like, you know, bouncing between both of my channels, and I have a reaction channel naturally. That's how I even came up on YouTube. But I want to get this channel to 1,000 subscribers as quickly as possible and get monetized on it. And let's see what follows suit. But I think I'm just going to stream as much as possible, mainly in the mornings now. I'm more of a fan of streaming in the mornings. I'm more acute, you know, I have my coffee, I'm more conversational. Last night I tried to do a stream and it was dead. And yeah, I definitely appreciate getting more of the global fans, the global fan base on the stream. So as y'all come into the stream, man, be sure to engage, comment down below, let me know where y'all from, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. But yeah, man, let's see if anything changes, right? We streamed for 7 minutes from the horizontal perspective. Let's see if we hit the 7-minute mark, how many more people come in to this stream. And of course I changed the title, but to be honest, I don't think title really affects too much in terms of live streaming, man. Some folks post like, you know, my channel is live, just like generally speaking, the channel is live and they get a lot of viewership, but let's see if anything changes. I think naturally streaming vertically is more engagement. Oh, we got one person that hit the stream, and that's the thing, is typically to like the 3 to 5 minute mark, you tend to see peak viewership. But the peak amount of viewers I had on that horizontal stream was maybe 2. So let's see if anything changes, man. Be sure to like the stream, comment down below, let me know y'all's thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. See, we already got 12 people in the stream. That's how I know YouTube pushes streaming vertically a lot more than streaming horizontally. If you're a new content creator, you're a new YouTuber, and you're trying to build, you know, subscribers, you know, followers, brand awareness, I recommend you guys stream vertically, man. Shout out to all y'all who are just joining the stream. Like the stream and subscribe to the channel, man. We got Lynette and we got GW Edit. Shout out to both of them, man. Be sure to give me a like. But yeah, definitely a lot of creators don't know these kind of things about YouTube, but yeah, it's definitely something I found out about 6 months to a year ago. So shout out to y'all. Like I mentioned, I was gonna do a reaction video earlier this morning, but we on live. I'm gonna get in the routine of doing live streams in the morning, y'all. So much love to y'all who can join. Keep joining, keep engaging, and comment down below, where are y'all from? Where in the world are y'all from? Where y'all from, man? Where y'all tapping in, tuning in from? I think this weekend is just gonna be a weekend of creating a lot of content, uploading a lot of content, man, and just locking in. I really like getting in that tunnel vision, that groove of just like focusing on creating a lot of content. You know, I used to live and thrive in that space, but it's been kind of bumpy. It's been kind of rocky. I've been switching back and forth between 2 channels. I don't get that much engagement anymore on my main channel, but I'm not gonna stop or quit on that channel. I have to keep on rocking out. So I was gonna do a reaction about this rapper named Skrilla. A lot of these kids doing the 6'7" thing, and you know, how he's a very influential artist at this point in time, but there's a lot of wickedness behind what he's doing, man. A lot of demonic activity. You know, I was watching a clip yesterday that was talking about how he worships like a lot of satanic deities, man. Weird stuff, bro. Weird stuff. And, you know, he talked about making sacrifices, and it's like, and he's very blunt and open and honest about it. He's not lying. He's not faking the funk. And a lot of people are just naturally blind. It baffles me how blind people are to things that go on in the world, how people dismiss everything. But I think those folks are demons too. You know what I'm saying? Those folks are just a part of the agenda. Those folks don't want to pay attention to nothing because they're just as blind, if not trying to deflect. You know what I mean? So we live in a clown world, ladies and gentlemen. We live in a world to where people don't acknowledge the truth. People want to hide behind smoke and mirrors and then, you know, assume and wonder what's going on. And if you're that gullible, you know, I pray for you. I pray for you that you have more discernment and heightened wisdom and understanding. So, yeah, man, we got 2 people in the stream, 0 likes. Nobody cares to like the stream. Crazy work. Give me a like as you guys come into the stream. You know, support the channel, increase engagement, and comment down below where you guys are tuning in from. In my personal opinion, I think going live in the morning is better. There's a lot more, you know, international viewers, and I like connecting to people from around the world. You know, so comment down what country y'all are from, and let me know what y'all are up to this morning or evening. I know over there it's a whole different ball game. How, like, it's not even the same time. So y'all probably getting ready for bed. You know what I'm saying? Much love to all y'all who take time to chat, who take time to actually comment and, you know, engage versus just watch. You know what I'm saying? So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This channel is mainly focused on upliftment, encouragement, philosophy, faith, psychology. We just talk. And if you want a safe place to just be able to, a safe space to be able to just converse, you join the right spot. So we got Union Ash says, you look like a famous athlete, trying to figure out who. You know what a lot of people tell me I look like? They look, when I cut my hair really low and I'm wearing my contacts, people tell me I look like Dwayne Wade. So I don't know if you're talking about D Wade, Union Ash. Kalus Sakchi Jack says, checking in from Florida Everglades. Shout out to Florida, man. We in Orlando, Florida. I know that's a long way from the Everglades, but shout out to Florida in general. Much love to y'all, man. Like the stream and subscribe to the channel. We got Meme Liquor says, no, I'm on the way to school. Much love to everybody out there who's, you know, getting an education on their way to school. Shout out to y'all. It's not a hoax when people say, man, keep reading, keep learning, man. Life is all about everlasting growth and understanding. So keep sharpening your sword. Keep trying to develop understanding. Don't be a dropout. Star says, hi. Kelbert Bottom says, what do you look for in a minute in a man, Unc? I don't know what he's talking about. Star says, how's it going? Good. How y'all doing, man? Union Ash said, yeah, that's him. I'm a Heat fan too. Yeah, people say I look like D Wade because when I take out my glasses, I got like the lazy eye. You know, my eyes are really like, they say I got them lazy eyes. D Wade always had them like very lazy, lackadaisical eyes. Iron sharpens iron. That's a fact. Kalushi Jack says, I'm like 3 hours south. Okay. Man, I always wanted to check out the Everglades. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. But they're saying there's a lot of reptilians out there. You know, I've lived in Orlando on and off for a lot of, or like small stints. And there's only certain areas to where like a gator was spotted. You know, obviously it's not common. Maybe it is in certain areas, but we used to live in this, or we used to always frequent this apartment complex and swim, and they had like a pond, a very like gloomy, swampy pond. There was turtles, you would find gators in there, but they're like baby gators, you know what I'm saying? So they would always be like, be cautious, be aware, you know, they always had the signs around. So shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to everybody from around the world. So yeah, man, as you can see, we've been live for close to 10 minutes. We've already had like a max amount of viewers of 15 people in here. So if y'all don't know, I was doing a test earlier. I went and streamed from the horizontal perspective to where you flip your phone the other way, right? And YouTube doesn't really push. The algorithm doesn't push out those type of streams. But when you stream vertically like this, it naturally shows up in people's timeline, people who aren't subscribed to you. So you get more viewership. So it's interesting to see because I was live for 7 minutes and um, nobody really like joined, you know what I mean? But you know, when I was doing these, you see so many people come in and it's cool to see. So we got what's up everyone up next with Lamar. Shout out to Lamar. Make sure y'all having a good morning, man. Start the day bright and early. Get to it, get to it. Star Orion says, can you promo me? Yeah, everybody go subscribe to Star Orion Drift. Let us know what you do, man. I'm all about supporting people in their dreams and their goals. Just as you guys support me, y'all take time to join the stream. Much love to y'all. Anything y'all want to do, man, always do it. Don't let people discourage you. How do you pronounce that? Kalusachi Jack. I'm gonna just call you Jack. Jack says lots more gators in Apopka. Okay, that's a fact. That's a fact. We got George Hudson says, sup, I'm back. Okay. Shout out to George Hudson. He's always been joining the streams, man. Much love to George Hudson. I might as well make you a moderator, man. Jack says, yeah, I'm just scrolling feeds. Star Orion says, his favorite meal of the day is cereal. Crazy work. That is wild when cereal is your favorite meal, man. That is crazy work. Be sure to like the video. If you haven't liked the stream or subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that, man. Let's get the engagement up. And everybody keep dropping in the comments where y'all tuning in from. So Star Orion Drift does VR. He's a YouTuber and he plays Orion Drift. There's a lot of YouTube, gamers, gamer YouTubers, so to speak. That seems to be a category that's blown up over the past. I mean, it's always been a thing, but people are more so streaming. I would advise you to do streams. You know, do streams playing the game. Kalusa Hatchie. There it is, Kalusa Hatchie Jack. We got Andrew Cool HD says hi. Shout out to Andrew. And we got George Hudson says, please mod me. I'm always here. Facts. All right, I'll give you mod title, but you know, just join the streams when you can. And you know, as a moderator, obviously just flag people, you know, posting inappropriate content, you know, spamming in the comments. And always encourage people to like, comment, subscribe on the channel, man. That's what I expect out of my moderators, right? Encourage folks to like, comment, subscribe. And then, you know, obviously, ref the playing field. Pretty much just remove people who are bots, people who are NPCs, and things of that sort, man. All right, we got George Hudson is now a moderator for the channel. I guess nobody likes the favorite meal of the day question. So I'm gonna remove that poll. Bet El Kioha says breed. I don't know what that means. Will you stream later today? What do you mean later today? Like what time frame are you talking about? Where are you located, George? Where are you located, man? What time zone are you in? We got Super Flippery says, Jesus loves you. That's a fact, man. Brain dead. Says Dayton. You talking about Dayton, Ohio? Like, where are you talking about? The only Dayton I know is Ohio. And I think y'all are Eastern time, or is Ohio Central time? Yeah, I think Ohio's Eastern time. Jack says, I used to stay off Lake Mary. Okay, so you a Florida boy, born and bred, man. I used to live out, I always lived in Orlando when I lived in Florida. But I'm from Texas. I'm from Fort Worth, Texas originally. Came out here for college, loved it, stayed, moved away, came back, moved away, came back. Now I'm here to stay. I don't think I'm going anywhere anytime soon. You can't beat Florida, man. And you know, Contrary to popular opinion, I love when it rains. Like when it rains randomly, I don't know what it is. It's so calming. It's so peaceful to me. And it just always, like, I don't know, it helps me lock in. We got a few more people who have joined the stream, man. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the stream. We got Ball Striker says, hi, dinner. We got Star says, may I be mod? Answer, I'll get in your streams. Nah. You got to, I don't give out moderator just like that. You got to show up consistently. George has been in all these streams all the time. So even Lamberismo, shout out to you, man. What's going on? He's always in the streams. He's always in the stream. So Star Orion Drift, if you show up to the stream 3 consecutive times, if I see consistency, that's when I like give my real supporters moderator titles. I don't just hand them out because I give somebody moderator and you never show up to the stream. Like, what am I making you a moderator for? We got Starboy says, Jesus Christ love you, man. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Methodist was my home for a while. Or he said Metro West. Okay. We got a lot of people who have been joining, man. We only got 5 likes on the stream, man. Do me a favor, like the video. Let's get to 10 likes and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna do these streams every day, y'all. And I typically stream for about an hour because I'm trying to get more engagement up and obviously increase viewership. But I think streaming is the way to go. Not too many people watch my long form content, but a lot of people are always on the live streams. Just hi. Shout out to KR Tagberry. Lamberismo says, love you, bro. Much love, man. Much love. Star Orion just says, well, I'm usually at school, but if you add me. But I will if you add me. If you're at school, then you can't make the stream, man. Focus on school, man. Focus on school. Where are you from? What part of the world do you live in, Star Orion Drift? We got Alkioa says, I don't know what that means. I don't like saying random words that I don't know what they mean, man. You are my favorite streamer. Shout out to George Hudson. We got Iniqua. Can you please read Mark 10:18 for us? What does Jesus say to the man? What does Jesus mean by this? What did the man understand and how does the man respond afterwards in 10:20? Let's reflect. Why don't you type it in the comments right now? But lo and behold, I have my Bible right here. Yeah, that's a good idea. Hi, we got Mr. Mathuka back in the building. Shout out to all y'all who've been joining the stream, man. Let's get to 15 likes on the stream, man. We're at 8 right now. Be sure to like, comment down below where y'all from, and subscribe to the channel. So Inaquit says, read Mark 10:18. We got to go to the Gospels, man. We got to go to the Gospels. Did he say 10:18? So let's see what Mark 10:18 says. Mark 10:18 says, why do you call me good? Jesus asked. Only God is truly good. Then he said 10:20. 10:20 says, teacher, the man replied, I've obeyed all these commandments since I was young. Well, let's read the context. Why do you call me good? Jesus asked. Only God is truly good. But to answer your question, you know the commandments. You must not murder. You must not commit adultery. You must not steal. You must not testify falsely. You must not cheat anyone. Honor your father and mother. And then he says, teacher, the man replied, I've obeyed all these commandments since I was young. 21 says, looking at the man, Jesus felt genuine love for him. There is still one thing you haven't done, he told him. Go and sell all your possessions and give the money to the poor, and you'll have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me. So this was the rich man who, really wanted to follow Jesus, but his most prized possession was actually his finances, his riches, right? And when Jesus asked him to sell everything he had, You could tell that that was his God, his money. So he wasn't willing to let go of it. Um, what does Jesus say to the man? So obviously, I think when he says when God is only truly good, that's fact, right? Man can't be truly good. God is good because God is perfection in that light. I don't think the man truly understood, right? Because if the man understood, he probably would have been able to sell all his finances. So, Mr. Mathuka, what was Jack saying? Why'd you time out Jack, man? He was probably, what'd he say, something about the Bible reading? All right, Peak, we got what's up, Jonathan Kahn. Shout out to Jonathan Kahn. We got Sumik says, watching from India. Much love to India and people watching from overseas. Um, got George Hudson, what's your favorite psalm? That's a tough one, man. I've been reading Psalm 27 a lot more frequently, but 91, I don't know, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Jonathan Kahn says, do you only talk about the Bible? No, go check out the channel and see everything I talk about, man. We talk about psychology, philosophy, faith. We talk about everything on this channel. We talk about real world topics, but Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, period. Andrew Coates says, hi. Shout out to y'all, man. We got a lot of new people in here. If you haven't already subbed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 800 subscribers. Do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. And Testament. What's up? We got Tyler in here. We got Triune Kingdom says Devil Dodger. Oh, that's funny. Every knee shall bow, every tongue will confess, man. Don't be mad at people who are lost and haven't figured out, the truth behind Jesus. All you can do is show them love and pray for them that God reveals purpose. The world is naturally lost. If you see what's going on and you call that truth and understanding, then obviously you're living in a circus. We live in a clown world, man. So anyone who doubts the divine is obviously blinded. So all you can do is pray for them. So he said something about guns, man. It's okay. See, Mr. Mathuka, you too much of a kid, man. Like, if somebody's talking about guns, it doesn't matter. You gotta let that slide. You know what I mean? Because Calahoosie Jack we was having a good conversation before you popped into the stream, man. You gotta let him slide. He, based off his conversation, he only had good intention. So unless he was saying something negative, then if somebody's just talking about guns, that's not a reason to block them. Bro says, is mayonnaise a vegetable? He got the picture of, who is that? Walter, I forgot the dude from Breaking Bad. What's his name again? Walter White, isn't it? All right, see you later, George. George says, I got school, but I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, we got Andrew says hi. We got Umar Majid, love from India, occupied Kashmir Valley. Shout out to India, man. We got Brees Kumar. He says, bro, is hell real? It's a very real place. There's only one God. We got Umar Majid, man. A lot of people from India have been joining more recently, man. I appreciate you dropping all these verses, but verses just dropping verses. Give your reflection, give your insight. What do you think he's saying? What are you saying? Like everything you're asking us, put your insight in as well. I appreciate when people actually provide feedback versus just, putting a premise out there and just wanting people to just figure it out. No, let's get your feedback. Let's get your reflection. Mr. Mathuka. Funny, man. Yeah, you can't don't be a police, don't over police, man. Just let people say what they want to say. The only reason you should be putting people in timeout is if they're being like Obviously, if they're spamming the comments too much, or they're saying very ugly, derogatory things, right? Things we don't condone, things that have no ethics or morals behind them. If somebody's just talking about guns, that's not a reason to put somebody in timeout. Now, if somebody's talking about shooting up a place, then that's a different story, right? But you got to kind of know like when the line is drawn. All the moderators should be encouraging everybody to subscribe, like the video, all that, man. So on top of policing people, man, you should be encouraging people to subscribe and like the content. Don't get carried away with just being a policer. You know what I'm saying? Baseball bro said, yo, he said, I'm dead. Well, that I'm dead saying, man, that sayings came a long way. Lord is our savior, Lambarismo. I'm gonna give Lambarismo moderator as well. So Lambarismo, you know the obviously you know what I just mentioned as far as being a moderator, man. Encourage people to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and obviously police people who are saying inappropriate things and being hateful in the comments. If you put them in timeout, block them, whatever you got to do. But I would say put them in timeout for 10 minutes. Don't just completely remove them. Always give grace, right? Put them in timeout for 5 minutes. Spitfire says, I agree, right? Okay, Inaqua says, my reflection is that John 17:3 is telling us about who God is and who Jesus is. It's a clear verse that tells us who Jesus is and why he was sent. See, I like that. I like that. When you give breakdown, man, I like that. You know, that's a fact. That's a fact. And interesting enough is I made a video a while back talking about how Jesus is God. And people, I don't know how people will believe in God, but then they limit the extremity of God. They limit the magnitude of God, and he's able and capable to do all things. But they don't believe he's capable of becoming a man. It's just so mind-blowing to me how people be like, well, God, there's no way Jesus could be God. But Jesus can be all, God is everything at once. So it's just crazy to me. They just put limitations. So you're telling me Jesus is God? But how is he the Father and the Son? Because he was. Like Jesus was still human is the thing that people still miss. Like he was God, but he was still flesh. So I think a lot of times you can see the humanity in Jesus throughout the gospel, or throughout every story or every interaction that you have with him. He still reverences the Father, right? He still has humility in the sense that God is God, but he's God in flesh. He's the Word in flesh. So I think there had to be that distinction between Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Like, and that's what makes it clear. So that's a fact. That's a fact. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Much love to everybody who took time to join the stream this morning, man. We've been live for close to 30 minutes. And, this just proves the point that I need to keep streaming in the morning, and I need to keep streaming vertically, right? So, yeah, man, just shed love on people, man. People gonna hate. People are confused. People want to get a rise out of you. People want to see you turn up. But, always harbor love in your heart, man. Every knee shall bow, every tongue will confess. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a cold, hard truth and a cold, hard reality when people come to understand. But Christ will return one day, and on that day, the people who didn't believe, they're gonna be exposed to a rude awakening. There's always been that saying or that phrasing that said, I'd rather believe in God and find out he's not real than not believe in him and find out he is real. Like, I don't understand why people have so much contention about moving in love and understanding that Christ died for our sins and how God is so loving and caring that You know, he wants to have everlasting life with us. But people are just have such a hatred and an anger in their spirit that they can't swallow this truth and they just don't want to. And I think that because the church has confused a lot of things in terms of who God isn't really. You know, they think that God is just angry and hateful, and a lot of people don't want to hold themselves accountable. But at the end of the day, like, that's not God at all. Like, of course, there's order and structure to how God operates. But for you to think that he just has no grace and no mercy is wild work to me. But I think like it's people who have misinterpreted and misconstrued who God is to other people. So that's why people end up developing hate for God. It's just like, it's crazy work to me, but much love to everybody who took time to join the stream, man. We're going to keep streaming for a little bit. I'm not saying that I'm logging off anytime soon, but if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go do me a favor and go subscribe. Additionally, like the stream, man. Let's get to 15 likes on this stream. You can like the stream by double tapping the screen. Just double tap the screen and let's get the likes and engagement up. If you haven't already commented where y'all from, comment down where y'all reporting from. We got UFO says, Clip says, bless brother, it's lunchtime in Scotland, man. What you having for lunch? Lambarismo said, I gotta clean my teeth. Be right back. Okay. Much love, much love. I love these streams, by the way. Please keep them going. I will do. And now Quat says, have you ever come across the guy? Just curious, what guy are you talking about, my brother? UFO Clip says he's having square sausages. What's that? Today starts my diet, y'all. I'm going back keto. I'm doing protein and veggies only. I'm going back keto. Especially since I'm back in the gym now, you know, I'm gonna start shedding pounds, obviously working out a whole lot more, doing a whole lot more cardio. But man, I'm gonna go back to the protein route. Protein and vegetables and fruit only. He said, oh, it was in my previous comments. I think you missed it if you want to scroll up. So UFO says Scottish sausages, beef and pork in a square shape. Well, that's it. You don't eat it with like a side. There's no vegetable. You just eat sausages for lunch. I mean, I love sausage. Don't get me wrong, pause. But you know what I mean? Like a good brat, a good hot link, man. Chorizo, you know what I mean? The underdog, shout out to the underdog who has joined. He said, don't eat too much for Thanksgiving, man. Yeah, I don't plan on eating too much for Thanksgiving. I don't got no Thanksgiving plans like that. I'm not going home, so I don't know. I'll probably make my own Thanksgiving dinner. He said on a bun with ketchup. Okay. Okay, cool. Much love to all y'all, man. Much love to all y'all who take time to join these streams, man. And engage with the content. We got Teddy Keene in the building, man. Shout out to Teddy Keene. Do me a favor, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. UFO Clip says with a cup of tea. Man, y'all eat everything with a cup of tea out there. I love tomato sauce. You eat tomato sauce by itself? Crazy work. Teddy Keene says, it's my birthday, man. Shout out to Teddy Keene. Happy birthday, man. Hope it's a blessed one. Enjoy it. Turn up. Have a good one, man. So yeah, I mean, there's no distinct plans for the day to day. Obviously, y'all guys know I work from home. That's why I'm able to have the flexibility to do these streams in the morning. But yeah, just gonna check my emails after this, get back to, got some calls today. But after that, get back to uploading some content. You know, there was some reaction videos that I wanted to do, but we'll see how that plays out for the rest of the day. You know, I'm definitely gonna keep, you know, grinding it out, so to speak, uploading content. But I'm about to pour a cup of coffee, so I'll be right back, man. everybody, keep the conversation going. Yeah, it's Teddy King's birthday, man. He said, UFO said that's my son's name. UFO, UFO. So yeah, man, what I've been looking for is a place to play ball, a place to hoop. If any of y'all play sports, comment down below what sports y'all play. But man, playing basketball is some of the greatest cardio you could ever imagine, man. It's such a great workout, but I haven't been able to find a league or a gym to frequent, man. That's my next thing to check off the list. I need to find a place to play and get my cardio up and just get back in better shape, man. I've been lifting. I've been lifting, getting back into the gym. So definitely changing the diet is gonna help work wonders. We got Pastors Memphis and Mainiga. Lambarismo, does anyone else agree that a sausage sizzle from Bunnings Warehouse is the best lunch possible? I don't know what that is. I don't think we got no Bunnings Warehouse in the States, man. Or maybe not where I'm at. I don't know nothing about no Bunnings Warehouse. What's that? Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be fasting for the next few days. It's good to fast, man. I haven't fasted in such a long time, but I need to reset my system, just clear everything out, man, and kind of like recycle back my diet, so to speak. So every time I fast, it always just cleans me out. Obviously, there's a lot of health benefits to fasting. Entering autophagy, obviously going into ketosis to where you're burning fat for fuel. So like the first day is always the hardest, but after you get to day 2, day 3, you're good. You know what I mean? But that's my kick today. Today I'm just drinking water and coffee. We got UFO clips of Shinty. It's land hockey. I don't know what that is. Okay. It sounds like street hockey or something like that. We got KK Gaming says, do you watch football, bro? If you're talking about like soccer, what we call soccer in America, I used to watch it, not as much anymore. I used to watch it. But if you're talking about American football, it's okay, man. It's okay. UFO Clip says, nope, it's tougher. Okay. I'm assuming it's more rough. It's probably what like American football is to rugby. A lot of people think American football is like so tough, and it is. Obviously a lot of people get hurt and injured, and there's a lot of hard hits. Like I'm not gonna act like it's not, but there's a whole lot more padding. You got a helmet. But when you look at rugby, man, that's a real man sport. And I say that you ain't any less of a man if you play football. But what I'm saying is like that's a tough guy sport. The way these guys hit each other, man, it's just like, and they got no padding on. Ugh. Seemed like that would just be disastrous. Lambrismo says, what does your mug say on it? It says dad jokes where magic happens. This is a random mug that I got. So like, obviously I'm not a dad, so it's not relevant at all. But like me, I drink so much coffee, I needed a mug. So I'm like, man, let me get a coffee mug. You know what I mean? Because I was drinking out of the styrofoam cups for so long. But yeah. It pretty much says dad jokes, and then it's like a middle ground. This is where magic happens. Between dad jokes, between dad and the jokes, the middle part. I don't even like. I don't know, bro. I don't know. But you know, a lot of girls like dad jokes, man. So if you got good dad jokes, you'll probably get you a baddie. Check out Shinty. It's ice hockey on a field. Tough Scottish sport. Okay. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. So cool. So we got 4 people in the stream currently. We got 12 likes on this video. If you haven't liked already, subscribe and like the video. Let's get to 15 likes if possible. We've been live for 40 minutes, y'all. So I like just being able to hang out, have conversations. We talk about faith. We talk about philosophy. We talk about psychology. We talk about just life in general. But I think that this is a cool space to have, right? Because people don't have honest conversations anymore. You got a lot of people out here who are just bots. They're scrolling all the time. They're just going through their phone. They're going through their mundane day-to-day. They're not really taking initiative in anything. And we're living in a society that I see, falling in real time. So it's a sad thing to see, because there's a lack of care. There's a lack of like grace. There's a lack of love, being open with one another. The world is only getting colder and colder. So it's like, this is a space that I've kind of curated for open conversation and dialogue, and just imparting my wisdom and understanding, right? I think I've been called to create this channel and speak to the masses. So, at the end of the day, it's God's plan to where this will be taken. But, I love YouTube in general. I love content creating. So I don't think I'll ever stop doing YouTube. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys who subscribe to the channel, who like the stream, who actually support. UFO clip says 13. I don't know what that means. So in our quote said, what are your thoughts or views on Muslim versus Christian or Jewish versus Christian debates and discussions? Do you think they're beneficial or useless? I think they're beneficial to an extent, but I think a majority of it is useless, because a lot of people, they don't listen to understand, they listen to respond. So in a lot of those so-called debates, it's like, who's right, who's wrong? Like, we know the truth, right? We know the truth as believers, and we know, that Jesus is the truth. So it's like, when you think about that, it's like, I don't like, obviously we're understood to come in love. I don't like pressing my issue or forcing somebody to believe what I believe. All you can do is plant the seed, and if they receive it, they receive it. If they don't, they don't. But when you see a lot of these Muslim versus Christian, Jewish versus Christian, they're debates that kind of get a little bit overboard. So they're useless in that extent, to where it's just back and forth argument. But I think that the only way we break down barriers is conversation. So it's like, we have to have these topics of conversation. We're called to be able to share our faith. We're called to speak and share the gospel. If you're not speaking, then obviously that defeats the purpose. So I don't know. I would say 75-25 in that sense, because a lot of these conversations, especially when you see Muslims is always, you're always getting into argument with somebody who's Muslim. It's not like just, it's not just like dialogue. It gets too far. We got Tax Betterment in the building. Shout out to Tax Betterment. Be sure to like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel. Inaqua says, I believe they're beneficial for society and understanding each other. Yeah. UFO clip says 13 likes you have. Okay. That's weird. My numbers always say something different. Like, sometimes it says there's 0 people in the stream, and then there's like 6 people in the stream. Sometimes it tells me the wrong amount of likes. So Ryan Beans in the building, man. Shout out to Ryan Beans. Says truth about mythology. I don't pay attention to Greek mythology or nothing like that. It's cool from like a fantasy and story and like a film and novel perspective, but I don't buy too much into that. Do you watch such debates, or do you stay clear from them? I watch some of them, but I stay clear from a lot of them, because I don't have a very argumentative spirit. I don't have a very combative spirit. Like, when I need to get a point across, I'll get it across and I'll leave it there. I don't like to go back and forth with people. So when I see people arguing, all it does is stem frustration. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't like to live in that space for too long. So obviously I have context. I know what you're talking about, but I don't just watch these videos to be, like, it's gotten to the point to where I'm like, that's not my purpose to just watch videos. It's like, all I can do is impart what God instilled in me and try to fall in line with the purpose he's called me for, you know? So that's what matters to me, to be effective in what I'm called to do. People are gonna be people. People are gonna believe what they wanna believe. They're gonna believe what they don't wanna believe. I'm not here to change anybody's mind. I'm here to just do what I can, and then the rest is up to God. God is in true control. Do you watch us today so you stay clear from them? Everyone liked the video, facts. Everyone subscribe and like the live. Appreciate that, man. Tax Betterment says yes, but imagine if you grew up Muslim or whichever religion and never knew anything else. Are you bound to be damned because you grew up in a different country or an environment? I mean, this is the cliche question that everybody asks, and there's already a resolution to this, or answer to this. Like, God is ever present in all. Like, I believe that naturally, you got a lot of people who grew up in Muslim countries, Muslim religion, a pure Muslim landscape, and they still converted to Christianity. So there's always like a time and a place. There's always an opportunity. A lot of people naturally believe that Jesus or God always presents himself to people. Whether you're willing to accept it or not is you, but there's some people who have the opportunity to where their path meets the opportunity to learn and understand. At that point, you have free will, you make a choice. Now, do I think everybody in the world has that opportunity? No. What if you live in Timbuktu and you don't even have internet, you can't even watch any message or the gospel? I think God looks at your heart at that point. You know what I mean? It's funny how this is partially how people put God in a box. You think that God thinks like humans do, in the sense that if you're living in this place and nobody knows you and you never got the message, so you're forever damned? No, I think God has enough grace and mercy and love to be considerate. You know what I mean? It's like when people talk about children who die. Children who have time to develop a conscience, right? They're in heaven, right? Because God understands the magnitude of their understanding, right? It's like an innocence play. If you have a person who, morality and ethics is morality and ethics no matter what you believe in. Before Jesus came, there was 10 commandments that outlined moral ways to live. If you're a murderer, right, and you've never heard about Jesus, God is going to take into account your deeds. You know what I'm saying? You have to have some type of moral compass, is the understanding that I think a lot of people don't think. They can't grasp that. Only a person is going to think in the way that you propose that question. So if you're living in an area and nobody knows, you think God, no. God's thoughts are beyond our thoughts. So your wisest thoughts don't even compare to God's lowest thoughts. So I say that to say that God has a rhyme and a reason behind everything. And he's gracious, loving, and merciful to where like he takes into account. He created everything. You don't think he's going to take into account? No. So I don't believe that. You have to use some type of sense of common sense that God is bigger than our human way of thinking and understanding. You know, so it's like, you can debate it, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, you can debate it, but I'm not gonna go back and forth with. This is what I mean. I'm not gonna go back and forth like that. You know, but you got to understand that God is looking at your heart. He's not gonna sit here and judge you like, oh my God, you never knew Jesus, so get away from me. No, he's gonna be like, man, I know the parameter or the landscape this individual grew up in. That's what faith is about. Fact. And Aquat says, do you know who Sneeko is? Yeah, I'm very familiar with Sneeko. Tax Betterment says, well put, I like it. Good job, man. Weena says, have no fear. Ween is here. We got trolls in the building. We got trolls in the building. Shout out to everybody who's taking time to join the stream. But Tax Betterment, much love to you, man. Like I like when people, they ask questions, right? So, and I do a better job of being receptive to where people are coming from, because some people just want to understand and know the truth, right? But I think sometimes you have to use common sense, and maybe not everybody is able to think in that realm. You know what I mean? Like, so you know, I apologize if I came off in a certain way, but you know, I've been trying to be better on having grace in my approach, on just be receiving to people. You know, but you know, good question, good question. I don't understand Islam because they have the same beliefs as us. They believe in the same prophets as us, but they don't want to say Jesus is a prophet. They don't consider him God or God's son at all. I think it's more so because they're obsessed with Muhammad. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, same with Jews though. Jews don't believe God, Jesus is the way to eternal life. Jews don't respect Muslims have a certain regard for Jesus, but Jews don't have the same respect. That's a question for the world. Why are people stubborn to accept Christ, man? And like I said earlier, I think it's an internal battle that they face. You know, I think people don't want to have accountability for their actions because they see God as um, they see God as like a kid with a magnifying glass. You remember Toy Story, the movie, Sid, who the kid who's just like very wicked, like he breaks up all his toys, he's burning them with a magnifying glass. Like people think that that's God, and they don't understand the loving, graceful, accepting nature. So they tend to turn away. They don't want to have accountability for their actions. So there's a multitude. Like it's not a one faceted answer. You got to peel the layers back, you know, and there's a multitude. Some people are coming from a place of hurt. They're thinking that God is supposed to be all loving, which God is, but they think that God is supposed to be in control of everything and like, which he is, but let me rephrase this. People come from a place of hurt when they see a loved one die. This is just an example. And they'll be like, well, if God is good, why does he let bad things happen? Well, God is real. He would have saved my grandma or my mom. And it's like, that's a very selfish mindset because you know how many people live on this globe? Billions. So you're telling me that God's meant to save everybody? There's a natural law and cycle of life that God already understands that surpasses human understanding. God has a plan for things. And if you understand the afterlife is greater than any pain and suffering that we'll have here, why do you care so much about them passing on? Like, of course you have pain and hurt, but know that they're in a better place. You know what I mean? They'll be in a better place. So when you have, it's a very selfish mindset to where people are just worried about themselves. Well, my this, why did well, my. So people come from a place of hurt. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they turn away from God. So it's like, there's a multitude of reasons. Yeah, they accept Jesus, they don't accept his divinity. Prayers in 3 hours, 30 minutes, 5 p.m. UK on here. Padre Summer. It's 11:30 p.m. in Australia. Hope to see you still, Lambarismo. I'm gonna go to sleep now, guys. Thank you for chatting, Fabian. I appreciate you. God loves you. Much love to Lambarismo, man. Much love to everybody who's joined. Uh, Thank you to everybody who's taking time out to join the stream, man. We've been live for 52 minutes. If you're new to the stream, be sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. But there's just a lot of confusion in the world, man. And man makes it even more confusing for people to love and accept God because we are humans. We come from such a worldly mindset to where we think it's like that you have to follow all these parameters, whereas Jesus is the way, truth, and life. It is finished. Jesus said it on the cross. As long as you believe in him, you have everlasting life. Of course, there's that constitutes picking up your cross, sharing the gospel, like, but it's not this checklist of things you need to do. And the average person thinks that I have to jump through hoops, and that's not the reality. So they give up on it completely. And then, you know, you see all these mega churches and they misconstrue the word and they try to tell you this and that. And it's man who is diluting the message of the gospel. So people are getting mixed messages and they can't fully grasp or comprehend. That's a big part of why people don't believe, man. So we got Laura Vaga. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I don't believe I've seen you in the stream before, man. Give me a like on the stream as well. He's saying, not quite, you asked about Mark 10. I think, would you like me to elaborate on it? Where Jesus said, why are you calling me good? Only God is good. Yeah, go ahead and elaborate, bro. We've been elaborating this whole time, my brother. 14 likes, bro, getting there. Facts, facts. We getting there, man. We getting there. So yeah, you know, a lot of people, like, they just can't fathom God and a reality to where Jesus is real. They want to think that it's the Big Bang Theory and when we die, we just move on and there's nothing left in life. And I don't know why you would want to think like that. You know, I just don't understand it. I think that you would want to go to a place that's better than here. You would want to spend eternity within a loving space with God who cares about you and loves you. You wouldn't want just to be in the dark in a coffin and I'm dead and gone and nothing happens after that. You know, people who think like that have an obsession with the world because they think that everything that you can acquire, everything that you could is even worth existing in is here and now. And they can't think beyond that, and they don't want to rest in anything beyond that. So when you think about it like that, man, it's a very sad lifestyle. It's a very sorrowful life to even have that type of perception. We got UFO Boom 15. In fact, we got it. Much love to everybody out there, man. God bless everybody out there. We got Oliver is doing the little Skrilla thing, man. And you know, there's a lot of context about that song and how it's virality and its demonic origins. A lot of these kids don't even know what they're putting out into the atmosphere nowadays, man. A lot of people don't even know what they're putting out in the atmosphere. That whole 6-7 and Skrilla, if you look into the context, dude is openly talking about demons and how he sacrifices things and how he believes in like your souls being taken. You know what I mean? So it's crazy work to me, even when he's blatantly saying he's like a Satanist. People are like, oh, don't believe that at all. Don't let it go over your head. And that's how much of a circus we live in, man. That's how much of a circus we live in, to where an artist is deliberately saying that he sacrifices animals to get what he wants and that he worships these deities. And then people are still blind enough to say, well, that's not real. Man, every knee will bow, every tongue will confess. You're going to see, like you'll see, man, you'll see. The truth will be exposed. Don't get left behind, man. Don't get left behind. Nathaniel Hughes says, you're a millionaire. Facts, facts. We're all rich in spirit. You know what I mean? Everything you are, everything you aspire to, everything that God has put within you, you already have. That's why he is the I am. Once you assume the I am perception, you are. I heard a voice say, eat the bread of the Sabbath after asking Padre told me it's the bread at Mass I went this morning at 9:30. Okay? You cannot pick one verse and say, see, he isn't God. Jesus forgave sins, something only God can do. Jesus raised the dead and said, I am the Father, are one. Can you do me a favor? Yeah, facts. Facts. We had this conversation earlier. You know, I did a reaction to a video where Annalie Chopper mentioned that Jesus isn't God, but it's like, whatever, bro. We got Car Edit. Shout out to Car Edit's the only one. Just join the stream. What is happening here? We're having conversation. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the stream as you guys come in. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. What time is it locally? We got local NYC rat. I just lost my 1 month savings to do Bitcoins. It's not a good time to invest. Yeah. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. So we're about to come on an hour live, man. I definitely love doing these streams in the morning. Subscribe to the channel if y'all want to see more content, more live streams, more long form videos, shorts from me. Definitely this is a place just to give y'all a rundown to where we talk about philosophy, psychology. We definitely talk about our faith, and we definitely talk about the reality of life in the world today, man. I think a lot of people need to open their eyes. You know, we're living in an NPC era to where everybody's stuck on their phones, everybody's bots, people aren't paying attention to anything, and don't get lost in the sauce, man. So yeah, shout out to y'all, much love to y'all. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, man. Peace, love, prosperity. God bless y'all. I plead his goodness, grace, and mercy over y'all, man. I plead his blood over y'all, man. We are restored. We are. Everything you set out to do, you have already done and accomplished, man. Don't let the world and don't let the naysayers limit you in life. That's what they'll do. You got people in the world who will always try to drag you down. But guess what? You're bigger than that. You've already overcome. So we'll see y'all in the next stream, man.